Elmer, maybe, I'm not sure what's going on with Elmer, but he doesn't work. So we're going to put him over here for the time being. Anyhow, thank you for being here. Appreciate you coming in. It's been a while since we've talked about the black truck because there hasn't been much to report on the black truck. But now I have something to report. So, to catch people up to speed and just for fun, I'm going to run through the history of me and the black truck for a minute. I first heard about it on a Mr. Good Pliers. I first heard about it on a Mr. Good Pliers video, and it is this one right here is the video that I was watching to find the truck, and there, right there, next to it, is the truck. Now, this is a 9-month-old video by Tim, Mr. Good Pliers, and it's very good. It's very good. I've used parts of it in some of my other black truck stories, so you've already seen some of it. But that's where I learned about it, and for some reason, spam call. For some reason, that truck held my imagination from the first time I saw it. I actually had dreams about it. There was just something about that truck that made me really. I had to have it. I had to figure out a way to get it, and that took a while. The channel's not called Adventures of the Broke and Retired for nothing. Had to figure out a way to do it, and I figured out a way to do it, and I made it happen. And in January, I sent Mr. Good Pliers an email asking him if he still had the truck. It was early January, I believe. It might have been, I think it was early January. If he still had it, let him know that I was working on coming up with a way to be able to get it. Hoping it was still there. And later on in January, I had things figured out, and I scheduled with him to take a weekend drive. You remember, you've seen that in the truck part, whatever part of the truck where it talks about going to Kansas. Hope for a comfortable, enjoyable, safe journey to Kansas. As a matter of fact, Mr. Good Pliers is in that video. All right, boys and girls, welcome to, you're in the picture there, bro.
I'm in the picture.
You're in the picture. You are the picture at the moment. So I went up to Kansas. I paid him for it. And there's another video, which is also on my Facebook page now, about the day that it arrived in Louisiana, which was, I got notes here. It was delivered to my area on February 17th. Now, before I got the truck delivered here, I went around talking to people at shops to find out, and I asked around to find out if they would work on it, because I have an HOA. I cannot have a truck sitting in my driveway with no wheels on it. I can't have a truck sitting in my driveway with the engine out. I can't have a truck sitting in my driveway. I can't do any of that. Pretty basically, you have to respect the HOA. So you do what you got to do. So I had to find a place that would pull the motor out and reseal it and redo the brakes and maybe do some fun upgrades in the meantime. So I went and talked around, and I found these guys and talked to them, and I showed them the same video that I was pointing to here. I referred them to so they could physically see the truck. And they agreed to do the work. I said, well, I'm going to have it shipped here. They said, that's fine, get it shipped here, yada, yada, yada. So I got it shipped there. February 17th, I had it shipped right there to them. And they said, okay, we'll get a look at it, let you know. Well, 2.5 weeks later, I hadn't heard anything from them. So I'll pass by over there just to say, hey, I'm crooked here. I look like I'm in a lair. I guess that's as straight as I'm going to get. Sorry. Anyway, that was when they told me. Well, boys and girls, you're not going to believe what happened to me. A month or so ago, I went to the place. I was looking for a place to work on the truck I bought. Started looking before I bought it and make sure somebody would work on it. I went over and talked to them guys, and they were all gung-ho, and they were going to work on it, and they even watched the video and understood what I wanted and what we were going to do and all that kind of good stuff. I went over there today. The truck's been sitting there in their parking lot. Excuse me. Truck's been sitting there in their parking lot now for 3 weeks. And I went over there today and said, hey, any idea when we're going to be able to get the black truck in here and get a look, see what it's going to take to get us going? And they said, oh, wow, I think you better take it somewhere else. We're not going to have time to work on it. Well, that's a fine time to tell me that. I've been talking to them well a month before I bought the truck. I mean, this has been set up for a long time. Which left me a bit surprised, to say the least. So, now what am I going to do? So they had a guy that they knew, and maybe I shouldn't have trusted him, but they had a guy that they knew. I'm going to try to put some video slices in here to show something, to make the video a little more interesting. They had somebody they knew. They gave me the guy's name and address. So I went over there and talked to the guy. I went over there March 9th, I think it was. Might have been March. It was March 9th. I went over there March 9th and talked to that guy. And he said, sure, no problem. Yeah, bring it here. I love working on that stuff. I'm the guy that does it here. I do this, da-da-da. He had 3 other ones in the shop he was working on. Bring it over here. We'll get it worked on for you and let you know what's up. Great. Fantastic. Now, that was on the 9th, or the 10th. It was on the 9th. It was on the 9th because he got the truck towed the next day. He had the truck towed from the first shop to his shop. Had the truck towed over on the following day. So on the 10th of March, it was towed to his shop. And he told me the 10th of March, I think, I don't remember what day of the week it was. It's probably a Tuesday. I think it was a Tuesday. He said, I'll have it in the shop at the end of this week. Worst come to worst, it'll be next week because maybe I'll run behind on something. You never know. But, okay. Well, that week passed and the following week passed. And a week passed after that. And I went over there and said, hey, what's the scoop? And he didn't remember who I was, which did not impress me. And he said, oh, man, as soon as I get this car right here done, I'm going to get it in here. It was a Friday that I went and talked to him. As soon as I get this car here done, I'm going to get it in here. Yeah, you'll be in here. Well, I have to get that truck done too, but that's not a problem. I'll get you in here either this afternoon or Monday coming up. That was the Friday before Easter. That was no, it wasn't the Friday before Easter. That was the Friday before Good Friday. So it was a week before Good Friday. So, okay. So I waited until Good Friday and drove by the shop. I figured they were going to be closed. I waited and drove by, and my truck was still sitting out there in the back parking lot. Same spot I've been since it gotten there. So this past Monday, today's Wednesday, this past Monday is the Monday after Easter. I went over there. I got there at about 11:30, and the shop was closed. There was nobody there. They were closed up. They weren't open. And, of course, the first thing that hit me was they've gone out of business, and I ain't going to be able to get my truck out of here. So I stepped away from the front door just because there's cameras everywhere these days. And standing in front of the front door of a business that's closed is foolish. So I moved away a little bit and got on my phone to call the guy to find out what the answering machine was going to say. And right as I did that, he pulled in the parking lot. This time, I think he remembered me. He hadn't had a chance to get it in yet, but he would have it in that same day. I'll have it in here later on today. I said, look, bro, no insult intended, no hard feelings. It's been here 26 days, and it had. I figured it out. Been here 26 days. It ain't been looked at yet. You ain't got time for it. It's probably more of a headache for you to think about than it is for you to do anything with it. I'm just going to send a hook. I found somebody else, which I had. It's called the Shop of Ascension. This is where the truck's at now. I told them I found somebody else to work on it. I'm just going to pull it out of here and send it over there. And he couldn't find the key. It took about 15 minutes. He finally found the key. Now, keep in mind, this was the Monday after Easter, and no one had showed up at that shop to work except for him. And he was upset because nobody else was there. Well, he wasn't there either. So I don't know what to think about all that. All I know is I found this place called the Shop of Ascension, and they work on a lot of stuff like this. I watched their Facebook stuff pretty close, and they seemed to me as though they were not only talented enough to do the work, but it seemed to me that when they told people something, they meant it. When they said something to somebody, their word was good. It seemed to me that their word was good. So I paid them to get it from where it was, where the guy hadn't looked at it for 26 days. Get it over to them. And this is the third shop it's at. And we'll get a look and see what's going on. Told them exactly. I told them the story because I want people to know. No surprises. I'm a totally upfront person. What you see is what you get. What I tell you is the truth. I hide nothing from nobody because surprises don't do anybody any good at all. Best thing you can ever do is avoid surprises. So he said, I'll send her, that they have their own wrecker truck. I'll send the wrecker over there to go get it. And this was Monday. This was this past Monday, Monday after Easter. I went over there. It was after. It was probably it was between 12 and 1, I think. It was between 12 and 1, Monday. And I went over there and talked to him. I said, I've already talked to the guy. It's all set up. We're good to go. If you would just go ahead and send a wrecker, go get it and look at it and give me an idea of what's going on. He said, okay, we'll take care of it for you. They went and got it the same day. So when I went back the next day to make sure that everything went well with them going to get the truck from the other guy. It was buried way in the back, and I knew it was going to be hard to get it out. And I wanted to make sure they didn't have any trouble with the guy releasing it to him, and they didn't. He let him have. Actually, he asked me if he was very interested in the truck, and he asked me if I would pass by with it when it's up and running, pass by so I can get a look at it, and I will. Ain't no point in making enemies in the world. Let's all be friends. So I will. I'll take it over there and show him. So anyway, the Shop of Ascension went and got it the same day. They went and got it. I went back the next morning because it's right down the street from the house. I went back the next morning just to make sure everything went well. They had the truck in the shop. And here we are, boys and girls. After all this time that I've been owning that truck, it is actually finally in a shop. Sorry, man, don't mean to be in your way. It's actually finally in a shop. And I'm happy about it. I'm gonna take the tailgate off today. What they're gonna do here first is do brakes. Get brakes on it, first of all, so that it can be driven. Then they're gonna take it out for a ride and make sure the transmission, all that, find out all what's good on it. Find out what it needs, what it's good for, what it needs doing, before anybody gets too carried away with spending money on fixing things. So I'm gonna go get wheels and tires and a battery and bring it back, and we're gonna make progress. But I'm taking the tailgate while I'm here because it needs to be fixed. So I'll go ahead and do that while they're working on the truck. Thank you so much. Now, this is a big deal, okay? Because I have had the truck since the 17th. I've had the truck in my possession. It's been in Louisiana since the 17th of February. And the date this past Monday was in April. I forget what day, 6th. April the 6th. So from the 17th of February to April 6th, that truck has been sitting there outside, completely ignored. It might as well have still been sitting in the junkyard in Kansas. So this is the first time I see it in the shop, and I'm like, I can't believe this. What, man, talk about exciting. So I went inside to talk to him, and I said, well, I came by to make sure you didn't have any trouble picking the truck up, and I see you didn't. And he said, oh, no, we went ahead. In fact, we got it in the shop. We're going to put some brakes on. This is something I wish I'd have thought of. And this is something that I actually am embarrassed to say. But it shows the integrity, and I hope it holds out, because I said this about the first two places. It shows the integrity of the shop where the truck is at. The guy said, well, we're not going to pull the motor out and do any of that kind of stuff right now. First of all, we're going to put brakes on it, and then we're going to go drive it. Okay? Because I don't want to pull the motor out and do all kind of motor stuff to it, then find out it needs a transmission. So we're going to take it out and drive it before we do any fixing any oil leaks. That's an excellent idea. That's what should have been what's done to start with. All day long. So he says, I'm going to need a battery. I'm going to need a set of tires. So I said, well, you tell me what battery you want and I'll go get it. So he told me, I went and got it. The tires, for some reason, I buy around here, there's one tire shop that's cheaper than everybody else. I mean, it's just where you go to buy tires. That's the way it is. And they didn't have anything in the size I needed. So now that I finally have the truck in the shop, and they've been working on it, and they have brakes that sort of work, and they want to drive it before they start pulling the motor out of it, I couldn't give them any tires and wheels, because it's going to have tires put on it before it gets driven on the road, because what's on it is strictly what you call rollers, just to make the truck, they're bald and they're split and they're nasty and they barely hold air, and they're not even all the right sizes, the same sizes, but they're good enough to push the truck around the shop. So tomorrow, the shop is supposed to call me. I like to have that backlight. Tomorrow, the tire place is supposed to call me. I've still got the wheels in the back of Amy's car. I'm going to take the wheels over there. Once those wheels have tires on them, I'm going to go straight over there and drop them off. And they should be able to take it out and drive it. And once they take it out and drive it, we're going to have a better idea what's going on. And they're probably going to be more prepared. They'll have a better idea to make a plan, and we can start pulling a motor out of it. So at the moment, I am pretty happy. As a matter of fact, I am excited, because if you knew how it felt when I pulled up in the parking lot and saw the truck in the shop, how big of a deal that was. Not only that, but this shop, the Shop of Ascension, it's only been there, what day? Today's Wednesday. And it's been there Monday. All right, boys and girls. The truck, let me shut the car off. The truck has been here less than 24 hours. It's already being worked on. They drove it to where it's sitting and it stalled and wouldn't restart. It's probably out of gas. Went to get some tires for it. They're not going to have tires until Thursday. But I am so happy that the truck is actually being worked on. They're actually going to take it out, and as soon as they get tires on it, take it out and drive it and see what we got to work with and go from there. I'm so happy I can't stand it. I just brought them a battery so they got something to put in to drive around with. And man, I'm looking forward to this. They called me. I spoke to them in person Monday, and they called me about the truck yesterday. Just keeping in touch. Just want to let you know we're still thinking about you. That's the first phone call I had gotten about the truck since I purchased it. So it made me pretty happy. So that's where we stand with the truck right now. I got to get a set of tires for it. The wheels are in the back of Amy's car waiting to get tires put on them. I'll take them over there, drop them off, and pick up the ones that are on it that are all covered in mud because it was raining a lot and there's mud everywhere. So that's where we stand. And I will keep you informed. Like I said, I'm going to hopefully put some little video excerpts throughout this video to give you some color. And it lets you know what's going on. So thank you very much for being here. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for your subscriptions and your time. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for the comments. I love the comments. And now we're back on the road. We're not on the road, but we're back in business, shall we say, with the black truck. So we'll be able to do updates on it and keep you informed. Thanks. Elmer, well, can't have Elmer take us out of here because Elmer's not working.